You're watching Metrocast Channel 10. Thanks for joining us on Community Connection. I'm Elisa Casas. With me today, a local author, an inspirational speaker, and a woman with a wonderful story. Today, we are going to inspire, educate, and hopefully encourage you. Jennifer Foxworthy, thanks for joining us.
It is my absolute pleasure to be here.
Jennifer, we've had an opportunity to get to know each other and to talk a little bit about your background and what have you. And I'd like to let our audience know that we're going to talk about on our program today. We're going to talk about domestic abuse. It is kind of a tougher topic to tackle. Jennifer's going to share her story, but we're also going to give you some resources. But we wanted to let you know ahead of time what we're going to talk about. Jennifer's written a book about some of her experiences and other people's experiences as well. Before we get into that, let's talk a little bit about your background, where you come from. You're a domestic abuse survivor and, if I may say, thriver, because you're beautiful. You're here with a wonderful story to really help encourage women and educate them as well. So let's talk a little bit about where you come from. You're a retired Navy chief.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, okay. Retired Navy chief, served my country proudly for 21.7 years.
Oh, great.
Have been in 3 different wars: Kosovo, Afghanistan, Iraq. Flown over 3,700 flight hours. Certified alcohol drug counselor. You name it, been there. I'm from York, Pennsylvania, and now my family and we reside here in Southern Maryland.
And it is really important to share that background because you're an educated, articulate, hard-working, intelligent woman, yet there was a period of your life that you went through domestic abuse for quite a long period, and it took a while to come out of that darkness. Let's talk about what that time period was about. And the reason we're bringing this information is really to create awareness throughout our entire community that these things actually go on within our community. There's a statistic that says about 1 in 4 women. So if you're in a room full of women, 1 in 4 of those women probably have gone through some kind of abuse. So let's talk a little bit about your story and then talk about the book that you were led to write.
I had low self-esteem as a young girl. Mm-hmm. So having that low self-esteem and not a love for self, it made me susceptible to being in poor relationships, making poor decisions, being in relationships longer than what I needed to. Mm-hmm. And I devalued my worth.
Okay.
Didn't think I was beautiful. So while I was looking for love and acceptance, the men that I was with, they were looking to get their desires satiated. So my ex-boyfriend, met him through a mutual friend, and everything started off wonderful, but there were some red signs in the beginning.
Okay.
And the one red sign was he had punched me in my stomach when I thought that I was pregnant. Mm. And I yelled at him, told him to get out, didn't want to be with him anymore. But eventually I took him back. I wanted to know why. And throughout this book, that's what us women, we want to know why. We want to change the person. We want them to be better. We want them to love us like nobody has ever done before.
Right.
And as time had went by, the name calling. Mm-hmm. The physical, those scars, they can be healed. But the people don't realize mental and emotional abuse is so tough to deal with. Those are mental scars that stay with us. The name calling, you're ugly, you're this, you're that. And I didn't understand, how could a person who said they love me say these hurtful things? And as time went on, I'm crying in my pillow at night. He does not care. Just very cold-hearted. And it was approaching 2006. And I told myself a new year is a new beginning. For 5.5 years, I could not take anymore. But I didn't know how to escape. I didn't know what to do. I was bound by We were renting a house.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to lose the deposit. Where would I go? And as I prayed one morning before I was getting ready for work, it was like God spoke to me. It was like in a cartoon where the light bulb comes over your head.
It was just that dramatic for
Yes.
you. Okay.
Yes. Everything was just so clear, step by step, of what I needed to do.
Okay.
And I followed through. And God worked so quickly that day, I didn't have time to backpedal.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what most women do when they're confronted with some turmoil. They hesitate.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the devil then has an opportunity to get in and knock everything off balance.
Now, through the course of all of this going forward, you had an opportunity to speak to some women at the church that you attended. And when you did, many women opened up to you and said, "Me too, this has happened to me, this has happened to me." And it was a big realization to you that there are so many women out there that think that they're alone with this kind of a situation. And all of this has kind of led to where we are today, where you compiled your story and stories of some of the other women and put them in this book. And we're talking about women that are across all kinds of socioeconomic boundaries that went through, have gone through, have survived some of these situations. And the whole point of where you are today is really to educate and encourage women that you can be in a situation like this. You can get out of it, you can get through it,
Yes.
and then you can have a full and beautiful life.
Yes.
Now, I would like to talk a little bit about your book, because not only did you say, no more, but then you decided to do something about it, and you've written a book, which I love the title of your book, Tomorrow My Sunshine Will Come, and it's your story and memoirs and stories of other women that have gone through this as well.
Yes.
How does one go from being so broken and desolate one day to writing a book that people can get on Amazon, they can get at Books A Million, they can get at Barnes & Noble? How do you make such a leap?
It was finding purpose through the pain.
Okay.
If I'm feeling alone, ashamed, and humiliated, and considering the statistics of 1 in 4, how many other women who need uplifting, who need need inspiration to escape their abusive nightmare?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was necessary. Again, God gave me the vision. Don't hold this in, Jennifer.
Mm-hmm.
I brought you through the storm for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Your purpose is now to share. And in sharing, it became a healing process.
That is amazing. You just kind of taking a moment and reflecting on your life, who you've been, where you've been, what you've done. You served our entire country as a member of the United States Navy. You're retired chief. Thank you. Service is deeply appreciated.
Thank you.
And now you're serving the women of the world by having written this book. I know that you're on a speaking circuit, so if
Yes.
people would like to go to your website, inspirationallyspeaking.com, they can see where you're going to be. And I know that you're really helping women on a regular basis to get through this and then to thrive, because on the other side of this, there is a full and good life to live.
Definitely. Yes. Once I healed from the situation and restored myself, renewed my sense of being, that I am a woman, and that my domestic violence relationship does not define me. It's
Right.
just a part of me. It's in my past.
Right.
And I don't stare at it when I stop and think of how far I've come. I just glance and keep moving forward.
Ah, love that.
I glance and keep moving forward, because when we stop and we stare too long, then we become unfocused.
Right, you move back into that moment.
Exactly.
instead of- absolutely.
Exactly. And once I became renewed, restored, then it was forgiving. And so I share that it's a 3-step process when you go through something traumatic, a storm. Healing, restoration, and forgiveness. And I realized in order for me to be unstoppable, because that is the name of my women's conference, Unstoppable You Women's Conference, and actually March 29th at the Higher Education Center, that kicked off a 4-state tour.
That's great.
Just, I'm blown away at how quickly God is moving, because He knows that there's a message that needs to be told, and
Absolutely.
I'm very transparent in doing so.
That's great. Well, people can reach out to you through your website. They can, if they go straight to the website, you can get her book there, or you can go online to any of the book places that we mentioned. Thank you, Jennifer. Thanks for sharing your story, coming on, and just being so open about what has happened, and even better, what is happening.
That's right. Being unstoppable.
There you go, Unstoppable You.
Yes.
And by the way, we'd like to thank you for joining us on this program. We're going to leave you with a list of resources. If you are in a situation such as we've just spoken about, we want to encourage you that there are many ways out. Our community, our county, our state, our federal level. On a personal level, there are many avenues and opportunities where you can escape this kind of a situation, and you can get help. You don't have to be alone. So please take advantage of those resources if you need them. Jennifer, a pleasure to have you on the show.
It's been an absolute blessing, and I hope that this is the first of many. So
Terrific.
Thank you, and I pray that someone out there is watching this video and can be inspired, encouraged, and utilize the resources that are out there.
All right. Thanks for joining us. You're watching Metrocast Channel 10.